Hi Tappers. The video that we're doing today is based off of a question asked by one of our community members, which was, what can you do when you live with a constant critic? When distancing yourself from your trigger isn't an option. So some places where this could exist is that if you have a critical spouse, you live at home with your parents, or you live with roommates and one of your roommates or your siblings or a parent is this way. It could have to do with your workplace. Maybe you have a boss. Maybe you work with a bunch of people, like you're an educator and there's someone in like a course that just really triggers you. There are a lot of places where we might experience a personality or the expression of a personality that we really don't appreciate, but there's not a whole lot we can do about it. So how do you deal when that's your situation? Here's an option that I hope works for you. It's a concept that I created years ago that I call same team. Now, likely at first you see yourself and the other person in this conflict as being on opposite sides, and you're kind of bumping up against each other, right? The trick to get your brain to find solutions is to put yourselves on the same team and take the problem from both of you and make that the opposition. Now, even if you don't like this person, you don't trust this person, you don't want to be on the same team with them, this is still helpful because you're going to have to deal with them and in some capacity. Being able to have a different viewpoint of who they are and how to deal with them can be really, really insightful and give you a lot more tolerance. So go ahead and give this a shot anyway. It doesn't mean that you agree with them in any sort of way. It simply means you are looking for other perspectives and answers. They're not going to help you with it. So you're doing what you can on your own with your own tools and resources. So let's say you live with someone and they just constantly berate you. Just nothing you do is good enough. There's just all these little snippets all the time, just this constant criticism. So you have yourself and you have this person who right now you're defining as, you're my problem, you're the critic, you won't leave me alone, I don't know what to do with you. So in order to make the same team, we're going to take the person, we're going to put them on the same team and say, okay, now it's you and I over here. It is also usually helpful to think of who is this person without that issue. If they weren't this critic, if they weren't this loud, if they weren't this lazy, whatever it is that's triggering you, if they weren't this, then what is it that I care for? What is it that I appreciate? What is it that I notice? If that's as friendly as you can get. What is it that I notice if this isn't a thing? Okay, so that makes it a little bit easier to keep them on your team. And then you take that constant criticism and you put it out there. Now, you do this as you're tapping, okay? And we're doing a little bit of unfinished conversation along with this too, because we're imagining that they're there and they're going to give us some input. So it's you, the person, and the conflict. Okay, so there's this conflict. It's this criticism, and I really get triggered in receiving this criticism. This criticism makes me feel all of these different emotions, and it really makes me feel distance from you, and I don't know how to deal with that. I don't really feel like you're open to many answers. Stop there. That's already starting to adjust and put the person back on the opposite side, right? The criticism has to be separate from the person. This may take a few tries. That's okay. It's a new skill. You may totally bomb it a lot before you get it down. But just notice anytime you're having a narrative of you, then you have kicked that person off your team and now they're back to being your opposition. Let's try it again. Okay, so I have this person who I appreciate. They have a great sense of humor. They have a pretty smile, and I like the way they think about advancement in society. There's this criticism that's between us. There's this criticism that really makes things difficult between us to communicate, to be vulnerable. It really gets in the way of the relationship that I would like to have with this person. Well, what can I do about this criticism? This criticism that's between us. This criticism keeping us from being close. And even though this criticism is getting in the way between me and this other person, I deeply and completely accept myself. I wonder, is there a way to get rid of this criticism? I'm not quite sure that this will get put down. If this criticism doesn't get put down, what does that mean? It means I can't be vulnerable. Okay, I can't be vulnerable in this context. Is there a different way I could be vulnerable? Is it more appropriate for me to be vulnerable elsewhere? Can I still express love for this person in a safe way and not include the criticism? It allows you to find some safe scaffolding to hold on to as you're looking for alternatives to how you feel. And it may not resolve anything in the actual situation. What it could do is release some of the triggering that you're receiving, because every time that person is handing you this criticism, you can say, oh, No, that's over there. Okay, nope, that's over there. Ooh, yep. Okay, there's that criticism. I see that it's really strong today between me and this person that's on my team. What's a way that I can support team if our team's really getting pummeled by this criticism? Can go run bases, meaning I'm just going to go, I'm going to go grab a coffee. I'm going to run to the grocery store. I'm going to put my earbuds in and just zone out to an audiobook, whatever that looks like. But it allows you to feel empowered, and you're not seeing this person as your foe that you can't do anything about. This person is on your team. That's the issue. You definitely have control over that. I hope this is helpful. Let me know. Give me your thoughts. I'm always happy to help more. I'll see you soon.